Hello students, welcome. So today we are going to do the second part of the KCSE 2025 Chemistry Reductions paper 3. So we are going to do question number 2, which we have said it is from the inorganic qualitative analysis, which is also known as the identification of cations and also anions. So kindly stay with us until the end of the video. So we are going to do question number 2. We are told you are provided with the solid G, carry out the following tests and write your observations and inferences in the spaces provided. Part A. We are told place a spatula of solid G in a dry test tube or dry boiling tube. Then after that, we heat the solid gently, then strongly. Then we test any gas produced with red and blue litmus papers. So learners, when we are told to heat a solid gently, we are required only to confirm whether colorless liquid condenses on the cooler part of the test tube. But if we are told heat strongly, that means we are going to use litmus paper and we confirm any gas produced. So there are several possible observations, but when we are predicting, we can say the first observation that we can see is white fumes, which turns blue litmus paper red, and red litmus paper will remain red. Roman 2. A colorless liquid condenses on the cooler part of the test tube in case we are using a test tube, or part of the boiling tube in case we are using a boiling tube instead of a test tube. So for the first observation, the corresponding inference will be acidic gas produced. So tomorrow, what we can see is maybe a colorless gas that has blue litmus paper red, then turns white. That means it was sulfide ions, because sulfide ions produces sulfur peroxide gas, and sulfur peroxide gas has the bleaching property. So the other observation, Roman 2, we are told a colorless liquid condenses on the cooler part of the test tube, meaning that the inference is solid G is hydrated salt, or we can say hydrated salt present, or we can say solid D contains water of crystallization. All of those inferences are correct. So let's proceed to part B. We are told put the remaining solid G in a boiling tube, then add 10 cm cube of distilled water and shake well to dissolve. Divide the solution into 4 portions. So the observation there is we are going to see solid G dissolves in water to form a colorless solution. We are carrying 1 mark. Then the inference there will be colored ions absent. The colored ions we are talking about are cobalt 2 ions, iron 2 ions, and iron 3 ions. They are all absent. So learners, check here. You are supposed to say solid D dissolves in water. You are not supposed to say a colorless solution is formed, because before that colorless solution is formed, the observation that was there was that solid G dissolved in water. So we say solid G dissolves in water to form a colorless solution. So apart from this, we can say another observation, soluble salt present. So let's go Roman 1 to the first portion. We are told add sodium hydroxide dropwise until in excess. We have several expected observations, but the one that we are predicting is white precipitate soluble in excess to form a colorless solution. If we see this observation, that means zinc 2 ion, aluminum ion, and lead 2 ion are present. That is ZAP present. Roman 2. To the second portion, we are told add aqueous ammonia dropwise until in excess. So the expected observations again are very many, but what we are predicting will be white precipitate insoluble in excess. If we see this, that means aluminum ion and lead 2 ion are present, because zinc is absent in this case. In case white precipitate soluble in excess to form a colorless solution is formed, we could have said zinc 2 ion present. So next, Roman 4, we are told to the third portion, add a few drops of barium nitrate solution. The expected observation is no white precipitate formed. The inference will be sulfate ions, sulfite ions, carbonate ions, all of them are absent. If we don't see no white precipitate formed, we will see white precipitate formed. And if we see that, we are going to say sulfate ions, carbonate ions, sulfite ions present instead of absent. Then Roman 4, we are told to the fourth portion, add a few drops of lead 2 nitrate solution. Then the observation that we are going to expect there are 2 white precipitate formed or no white precipitate formed. So if we see white precipitate formed, that means chloride ions becomes present. If we see no white precipitate, that means chloride ions becomes absent. Learners, that is the end of our class for today. Thank you for watching.